Hey guys, so today we're doing a little bit of a COVID-19 lockdown experiment. A couple of days ago I made a video where I spoke about shooting film, black and white film, using a red filter. Now after I made that video, it occurred to me that it would be difficult to see the effects that a red filter has in a black and white image without seeing what effects a green filter has, for example, or no filter on an image. So today we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to take some portraits of this very handsome green bird sitting in front of me. I think we'll call him Georgie. I'm using my Nikon F50. It's in a locked off position. Every shot's going to be exactly the same framing, the same shot size, but I'm going to take one shot using the red filter, one shot using the green filter, and one shot using this strange Gaussian blur sort of effect filter, which I have no idea what it does, so we're going to find out together. I'm also going to take a shot with no filter and compare the results. So the reason I've chosen to use Georgie Porgy over here is because he's predominantly green and blue, which I thought the green filter would show some kind of difference there. And I'm shooting him against a red curtain, which obviously with the red filter should lighten up big time. Alright, so let's take a look at the results of our little experiment. First let's look at the picture taken with no filters. Just to try and be as fair as possible, I haven't made any adjustments in Photoshop on any of these images. I haven't even cleaned up the dust, so you'll see one or two little specks of dust from the scan still in the images, but that's there just to prove that I haven't adjusted the contrast at all. I haven't done any work whatsoever to alter these pictures. Anything that is changed between one or the other comes only from the filter. Alright, so with that out the way, let's look at the no filter. This is kind of like the baseline standard image. We can't really tell anything without looking at a comparison. So let's look at the red filter first. Immediately there's a stark difference between the red filter and the no filter image. Immediately I can see that the red curtain behind Georgie Porgy the bird has lightened substantially, so that it almost looks grey or white behind him. George himself, the bird, if you look at his body, in the no filter, in the body it's lighter, and in the red image it's definitely darkened. There is very little distinction in the red image, in the red filter image, between his body and his wings, whereas in the no filter there's a very clear distinction between his body and his wings. All in all, the red filter has added contrast to the scene. The difference between his beak and his body is certainly greater than in the no filter, in the red image I mean. His beak is almost white, and it's lost a lot of the shadow detail that's present in the no filter. So that's quite a stark contrast between the two. Alright, now let's take a look at the image taken with the green filter. So in fact the difference here between the green filter and the no filter images are subtle if not non-existent. I was expecting, because the bird's body, Georgie's body, was blue-green in color, I was expecting a more obvious distinction between the filter and the no filter. If anything, perhaps the green filter has lightened him all round, especially around his eye area. His eyelids seem lighter in the green image. The curtains, however, are more or less the same in the no filter and the green filter image. So all in all, the green filter hasn't made a massive difference in this scene. Alright, so here's the fun blur filter. I call it the blur filter. I have no idea what it's actually called. If anyone knows what that filter is called, then tell me. It creates a sort of vignette effect, and it's actually, I don't hate it, if I'm honest. So you can see around the bottom of the word blur in front of George, you'll see that there's a slight fuzziness, it's like the focus has been lost, even though it's in focus. And all around the edges it's a lot softer, while the center of the image is quite sharp still. So I think if you were doing perhaps portraits and you wanted that sort of romantic soft focus look, I think it's actually not the worst filter in the world to use. It's definitely an effects filter, definitely has its place. So now if we put all the images next to one another, you'll see the differences between them a bit more clearly. The red filter has definitely made the biggest impact on the overall look of the image over the green filter. The green filter and the no filter look very similar, so similar in fact that I don't think you would really notice the use of a filter in this particular shot. But the red filter has very clearly made a complete difference to George and to the background and to the look of the image. the green filter was definitely not as strong a green filter as the red was a stronger red filter, if that makes sense. It wasn't nearly as dark green as the red was dark red. So perhaps that's why the effect is more subtle or more difficult to see. Maybe if I had a darker green filter, the effect would have been more pronounced. So clearly the red is the most potent in terms of the effect it has on the image. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Sometimes it's nice just to do little home experiments and stuff, especially to try and keep your sanity during the COVID-19 lockdown. But anyway, I had fun. I hope you had fun too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.